Hey guys, this is Matt Marzillo. This week we're going to be working on a case study, and up until this point, you've developed some skills, right? You're a little bit dangerous in Microsoft Excel. You know how to insert objects into Microsoft Word. So I'm presenting you with a data set that's not perfectly clean, and asking you to give me three different insights, right? So that's the key number three on this data set. And what we're looking at, this is actual data that I scraped from the website IMDB, and it's a listing of different movies. You see the title here, their rating, their length, and then we have this unwieldy data set that's very long, right? It's like there's like 400 different rows here or so, and essentially listing out different contributors to each movie, and it's predominantly directors. It's directors of different movies. So it's about 356 rows long, this data set, and about about 363 columns. I'm sorry, so 363 rows and 356 columns. And I'm asking you to try to help find some insights in terms of what maybe directors have the highest ratings. Are there any patterns you see between rating and length? If you were to sort on so you had the highest rated movies at the top, would you see some sort of pattern there? That's a hint. You will. There's certain types of movies, and I use that term loosely, that are more popular or tend to be the most popular. So I'm essentially asking you to develop three different insights and have some sort of graphic along with that insight, right? So whether it's a scatter plot, a bar chart, a simple table, something that kind of drives home your point. The one requirement I do have is that you're free to use tables, but I'm asking that at least one of your insights uses graphics, right? So it's using some sort of visual interpretation, not just the data presented in tabular form. So you're going to develop all your graphics in Microsoft Excel, and then once you've developed your graphics, you're going to copy and paste those tables, graphs, what have you, into a Microsoft Word document, and then you're going to type your report around them. So your report's going to have three sections. You're going to have an introduction that clearly states kind of what you're trying to get at, what you're looking at, maybe a brief description of the data. Then you're going to have your three insights. Writing in full sentences explaining the graphs or the tables, what you discovered. And then the last section is a conclusion discussion, which is also very brief. Talk about kind of what you found and maybe what some next steps would be for future analysis. It should be around 2 pages, double spaced. I'm not overly concerned with the length. I'm not going to dock points. If you have a great report that you put together and it's a page long, I mean, that's kind of tight, but if you have a great report that's page and a half long, I'm not going to take points away. You're going to get full credit for it, full points for it. But 2 pages really isn't that much, right? I mean, you're going to have images in the middle of this document, so that's going to eat up a ton of space. So you'll probably be okay hitting that 2 pages. But yeah, so like I said, you're going to want to copy and paste the images of the graphs and the tables that you put together, right? So on this second tab here, I have a table that shows contributor mentions. So if you're going to try to compare like average ratings or overall ratings for certain directors, try to stick with these guys who all at least have contributed to 3 or more, right? These 5 or 6 guys have a good sampling. They've kind of done enough movies in this data set that you can actually kind of sink your teeth into it. So that this second tab is sort of just for your information. But just to give you guys a clue, and I'm sure you already know this, but if I wanted to take all of the contributors that have contributed or mentioned 3 or more times, I could simply let's format it really quick. Right click, format, put some simple borders around it. I could simply right click on it. Once I have it looking the way I want it to look, I can right click, copy, go to Microsoft Word, right click, and then always paste it as an image. You're going to get clear looking images that way. So you want to make sure it looks all good in Microsoft Excel. before you start, before you copy and paste it into Word. The one thing that I will take points off is that you need to have a title over everything, over all your graphics, your tables. So whether you're putting that title in an Excel and then copying and pasting it over into Word, or you're putting that title in separately in Microsoft Word, every one of your graphics has to have a title. I'm not gonna. I'm sorry. I will take points off for that. But other than that, have some fun with this. Make sure your graphics make sense. I encourage you to use pivot tables, use sorting, use filtering, use some conditional formatting. Have some fun, right? This is real stuff. This is what the data looks like in the real world. It's not always a clean, 10 by 10 tabular data set. Sometimes they're big and complicated and not perfect, and that's what we have here. But there are definitely some insights to be gained, right? You can look at movie length. You can look at certain directors. Maybe there's a few sequels in here, right? 21 and 22 Jump Street. Geez, they had the same rating, pretty much the same length, because they're essentially the same exact movie. I don't know if you've seen either of them, but they're pretty much the same movie. And also I have this column here that shows a synopsis for each of the movies that I pulled in. You're probably not going to use that. That's more or less just there for your reference, so you can kind of understand what the movies are all about. So any questions, like I said, post a question to the discussion board, or shoot me an email or give me a call. But have some fun with this. Should take you maybe a couple hours of playing around with the data and getting some graphics you like, and developing a nice, clean, easy to digest report. Okay, guys, thanks a lot.